In Module 4, we are moving away from the agricultural topics to urban topics. Namely, here we are going to collect very high resolution aerial imagery about the Netherlands, and then we are going to implement a full GeoAI pipeline, including generating training data, building a complex unit, training the model, and validating the model. So, welcome to Module 4, Building Segmentation from Aerial Imagery. In this module, we are going to shift from satellite-based crop mapping to high-resolution urban analysis by automatically detecting building footprints from aerial photography. We will start with ultra-high-resolution imagery from Amsterdam at 7.5 centimeters per pixel resolution, which means that we are going to have a dataset with over 100 times more details than we had in Sentinel. So let's start by importing the key libraries, which are going to be the usual core stuff and the geospatial tools from Raster.io to Shapely. Then we are going to use a bunch of AI and ML libraries from computer vision to PyTorch and even scikit-learn. And then we will have a bunch of tools to create static and even interactive visualizations throughout this notebook. And then we can start to acquire the dataset we are going to be working with. So we are going to use this ultra-high resolution aerial imagery from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, which is coming from this website called bleedmaterial.nl, which is an official governmental port in the Netherlands containing these high-resolution datasets. So here I collected a few core information about the dataset, but now let's see by clicking on this link how we can download the data ourselves. So we can also translate the website to English, which might be a bit more helpful. And then if you scroll down, you can just scroll the different datasets they have. And here on this grid portal, we can zoom in to any part of the city, click on any selected grid, and just look for the different parcels. So here you will see the TIFF files, so the geotagged TIFF files we can download, and the different block IDs or parcel IDs in this raster. In theory, these are 1 kilometer times 1 kilometer tiles at this 7.5 centimeter resolution. And if you click on one of the TIFF files, then you can just download it and save it. Just to make sure that we are on the same page, I'm also uploading to this course notebook the exact tile I downloaded and I'm going to use throughout this course module, but you are very much free to look for any other tile and scene and download it and analyze it. So once we have the file downloaded, which I'm going to define here, we can load the image with Raster.io and very briefly even display the data by making sure that the file is in the same folder as the notebook. Here you can see that this is actually a pretty large area. Indeed, it's 1 times 1 kilometers, and it has densely populated urban areas, smaller like suburb houses, and even some outside parts or parks or natural part. This might be like a small cropland here. And as far as I remember here, this is actually a cemetery area. Which means that while this scene is very complex and diverse, it's also a bit too much of an overkill or a too big of an area for the humble learning modules and exercises we are going to do here. So let's crop the data a little bit, which I'm going to do in a way that I'm cropping this raster to the lower right quadrant of the image. So we are going to be focusing on this section while preserving the georeference part. So the cropped version is going to have the same metadata as the original grid. So while it would be much easier and more convenient to crop this image when opening just even in Preview or any other image viewer as a TIFF file, it usually does not allow us to copy and paste the metadata to the cropped version, and then we would be losing the spatial information. But now, since this is a raster file, we can define the window we are going to use to crop the original one, and then simply save the rest. And then also with a quick visualization, confirm that indeed we were able to crop it. And here now you can see that this is indeed a very high detail map. So here are the buildings. Here we can even see that they have some nice swimming pools. Here are the trees. This indeed looks like a cemetery, I'm afraid. And here you can even spot the individual cars quite alright. So they have like red, gray, and white cars all around here. And since I was mentioning metadata, I want to have a quick look on what do we have here. So just to confirm that the spatial properties of the raster downloaded and then cropped are the same as I was referring to earlier when I was introducing the data source. So if we run this piece of code, we will parse the cropped image, print the size and the number of bands and the type of value in it, as well as the spatial resolution and the full coverage. And here you can see that we still have 6,000 pixels, more than 6,000 pixels in each direction. So this is still a pretty large area when it comes to the spatial resolution and the number of pixels, so the number of inputs for the neural network. While the resolution, if we round it, is indeed 8 or 7 centimeters, and then we are covering the lower right quadrant, so it's indeed 500 times 500 meters, using a local Dutch CRS. One more kind of cosmetics step here is to create an enhanced visualization. So the raw aerial images like this one here, often appear to be a bit washed out, mostly due to atmospheric haze and sensor characteristics. So to make our visualization look more lively, we are going to apply the usual contrast enhancement using percentile stretching. Meaning we are going to crop the lower and upper 2 percentiles of the values and then scale them to the 0-1 interval. So first we load the full image, then define the contrast enhancement function. So we will first create an empty grid, do the normalization, cut the distribution, and then export the rest or the results. And then finally we can also visualize them, the original on the left and the high contrast one on the right. So now that we have the high contrast image here as well, and also the original one, we have a great sense where the buildings should be, and now we are ready to move on to the actual spatial ML and GeoAI part.